Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Mark here, and today I'm doing a solo video for y'all. My buddy Jonathan ain't here with me, but sometimes we're gonna be doing solo videos on our channel too, for Retro Vibes Time Machine. And today we're gonna talk about the 90's before the internet. What was the 90's like before the internet came around, or before I had it? Uh, but while I'm doing that, I'm gonna have a ice cold beer with y'all. I'm a beer fella. Uh, this one's called Goose Island Tropical Beer Hug. It's a really strong IPA. This is not a beer review channel. I got one for that. If you want to go look it up, called Celtic Skull Beer Reviews, where I actually just reviewed this. But for this one's just strictly for this channel. But I'm still drinking it, so y'all gonna enjoy it with me, okay? And I got my Metallica shirt on. This is my favorite album, Ride the Lightning. Great album. I've seen Metallica twice, by the way. Awesome shows, both in New Orleans. But I wanted to talk about what was the internet, or what was life like before the internet, and it was a whole different time, y'all. Being born in '86, I'm 38 years old now. I was born December '86, so I'm 38, and I remember being 11 years old back in 1998, and my father just got us AOL, Windows 98, and a new computer. Like, I've never had the internet before, so I was like, oh, what is this, And I'll tell you what, man, those AOL days, they say ASL, all that good jazz. That was such a time, man. And I remember when the internet first came out. This is gonna be between, like, before the internet and just after getting it, y'all. So kind of in between, 90's before and after internet, whatever you want to call it. But I remember being 11 years old in 1998, and my father just got Windows 98 and AOL and everything, like I just said, and it was cool. I got to meet a lot of cool people on there. I met some friends on there. I don't really talk to anybody from there now, but I've had friends that were on AOL in the 90's, and then when MySpace came around in the early 2000s, everyone kind of switched over, but they still had the chat rooms and, all that stuff. So it was an interesting time, I remember back when, before the internet came around, being a kid in the 90's, me and my buddies would just ride our bicycles all day and evening, and then, my parents told me to come home when the street light came on. Like, that was time to go home. Like a lot of kids did. Their parents were like, when the street light comes on, it's time to go home. And those are such great memories. I'd ride my bike for miles and miles, y'all, because we didn't have internet back then. Before 1998, I didn't have no internet. Me and my buddies rode bicycles. We played video games. We watched wrestling. That was a whole different time, and I kind of wish we can go back to that. I don't know. I mean, the internet's great because I can talk about stuff like this now, but you miss the old times before the internet and all that took over. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a simpler time, and people interacted more with each other too. Now everyone's like, when they go to family dinners or go out to eat, they're all playing on their phone. I don't do that. I still have a conversation with my family and friends when I'm out. I don't sit there and play on my phone. When I'm out with people and I invite them to eat dinner with me, I want the conversation. I'm not going to sit there and play on my phone the whole freaking time. If I'm sitting in a chair waiting or something, that's different. But cherish the moments. Cherish your family and friends. Don't play on your phone all the time. And when I got internet in the 1998, it was cool. It opened a whole new world up for me. I got to meet a lot of people. The chat rooms were cool. Like, you go in there and be like, hey, hey man, what's up, ASL, or hey, you know, those were the days. The 90s, y'all, they were the best. I wish I could go in a real time machine and go back. The only thing I would really miss is having a GPS, because I'm terrible at directions, y'all, and the GPS does help. But other than that, I would gladly go back to the 90s. If I didn't have a GPS, I would just have to find, find the street the old-fashioned way. I've always been the kind of guy, I've always been terrible with directions and finding addresses and stuff. So GPSs are awesome. That's about the only good thing about living in today's society. Other than that, I will gladly go back, to be honest with y'all. But I remember when AOL, dial-up internet came around, and back then, and there's some really loud geese in the end of the lake over there. You can hear them. The only thing, back then we had dial-up internet when the internet first came out. So you couldn't be on the phone at the same time as when you're on the internet. So I remember back then my parents, I would be on the internet, and then they try to get on the phone. I'd be like, hey, I'm on the internet. And then when they're trying to use the phone, and I'm on the internet, hey, I'm trying to use the phone. While I'm trying to get on AOL, because back then when you had dial-up internet and you signed on AOL, it was like, it took a while to log in when I had a dial-up. So you couldn't be on the phone and the internet at the same time, and the internet was a lot slower back then than now. I'm happy about high-speed internet, y'all. I won't lie about that. High-speed internet's the best thing to come out, but the vibes are just not the same. I can give up high-speed internet to go back to the 90s, to be honest with y'all. I wouldn't mind it too much, to be honest. Let me get the rest of my beer in here. Alright. So, this is the first solo video of Retro Vibes Time Machine. And, I don't know, y'all. It's like, life was so great before the internet, and then life is so much easier with the internet. So there's got to be a balance somewhere, right? I mean, for nostalgic memories, and with the modern society of technology. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you get it, But all right, y'all. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end the video on that matter. And cheers. I hope y'all enjoyed the first solo video of the channel. There will be more to come, and I hope y'all have a great evening. I'm gonna finish this beer and sit out here on this beautiful 75-degree early spring day. All right. Till next time, God bless y'all.